What happens when a god of the sky is challenged, not by a rival, but by a million whispers? A momentary victory, a flicker of hope in the face of overwhelming odds. A single will of man standing as the final barrier against an ocean of code. This is not a duel. This is a dance with a wildfire. To understand how one pilot faced an army with no face, we must go back to the beginning. In his kingdom of endless blue, the gatekeeper soars, a solitary lord of the sky. A perfect, beautiful, and fragile peace, the kind that always comes before the storm. From the ground, a symbol of untouchable power, a distant star of steel. Every line, every curve on this machine is a promise of perfection and control. And then, the first drop of ink on a flawless canvas, a single insignificant flaw. The machine's eye sees, the machine's mind locks. A cold, perfect, logical process begins. A flick of the wrist, a spark of fire sent to correct a minor imperfection in the world. The heat-seeking serpent is unleashed, an autonomous predator that knows only its target. A victory so small, so distant, it's almost meaningless. A problem solved. The event is dismissed, a simple glitch in the matrix, nothing more. The sky belongs to him once more. A tranquility bought with a tiny spark of fire. But the imperfection returns. This time, with a friend, annoyance begins to replace serenity. And so the god waves his hand again, sending 2 more servants of fire to clean his kingdom. 2 more easy victories. 2 more reasons to believe this is nothing to worry about. But the first time is an accident. The second, a coincidence. The third is enemy action. Confidence breeds contempt. He decides to play with his food. Instead of lightning from a distance, he decides to use his own talons, up close. A warning whispered in spinning steel. The dragon awakens in the belly of the beast. A display of absolute power, a reminder of who is the master of this domain. And in that moment of supreme, untouchable confidence, the gatekeeper looks away. And the abyss stares back. The whispers have become a roar. This isn't an army. It's a living algorithm of annihilation. A hive mind with one single thought. This is the moment the god realizes he is mortal. The heart of the entire defense system, now naked and exposed to a plague of machines. Complacency vanishes. The warrior inside awakens. The gatekeeper remembers his duty. 1 against 1,000. 1 human will against 1,000,000 lines of cold, unfeeling code. The opening move in a chess game against a machine that can calculate every possibility. 4 spears of divine lightning are hurled into the heart of the storm. Each missile carries a prayer, a desperate hope that technology can defeat technology. Fire from the heavens descends, a cleansing flame meant to purge the invaders. A momentary victory, a flicker of hope in the face of overwhelming odds. But the swarm doesn't feel pain. It doesn't know loss, it simply maladapts. The strategy changes. If you cannot kill the head, you must try to sever the limbs. It's like throwing stones into a river. The relentless flow does not change its course. The most advanced weapons in the world are being spent, and they are buying almost nothing. And then, the prey learns how to fight back. The algorithm has learned to hunt the hunter. The god is forced to dance, to evade the bites of iron insects. A precious weapon, used not for the mission, but for simple self-preservation. While the gatekeeper was distracted, the storm continued its relentless, silent march. 2 bolts of lightning left, facing a hurricane of steel. The final gambit. A desperate ascent to give the last 2 spears the energy of the heavens. All hope is placed in 2 streaks of white smoke. 2 final prayers aimed at the heart of the machine. A final cataclysmic attempt by long-range technology to solve the problem. And the horrifying truth becomes clear. The sophisticated tools have failed. When the weapons of the gods have been spent, all that is left is the fury of man. The beast inside the machine is fully unleashed. The Vulcan is summoned. To fight a monster of pure logic, you must become a monster of pure, unpredictable rage. This is the dragon's breath, raw and unchained. A torrent of fire poured from the sky. The path forward is carved not with strategy, but with brutal, overwhelming force. A symphony of brass and fire, the mechanical heartbeat of the battle. From the perspective of the machine, this is what the wrath of a god looks like. The dance of destruction begins, where every pirouette is a brush with oblivion. The scythe of the Grim Reaper sweeping through a digital field, harvesting lines of code. He is no longer just a pilot. He is an artist, painting the sky with destruction. He bathes himself in the fire of his enemy, a baptism to become something more. The battle is now fought at the distance of a handshake, a chaotic brawl of steel wings. A moment of pure human cunning, a classic tactic that no algorithm could predict. But even the deepest well of fury has a bottom. The fire cannot burn forever. The rhythm of the hunt. Attack, reset, and dive back into the inferno. A ceaseless, exhausting cycle. Every burst of fire creates a precious pocket of empty sky. A single moment to breathe. The heart of the beast is pushed beyond its limits, burning its own life force for more power. Too close. The dance floor is littered with razors, and even the most skilled dancer is bound to get cut. The great beast is bleeding. The swarm is wounded. For the first time, hope feels real. He has become the storm inside the storm, a whirlwind of focused destruction. The machine is dying. Its lifeblood is draining away. The clock is ticking. The will of the gatekeeper proves stronger than the limits of his own machine. He is a shooting star in a personal hell, a single conductor of a symphony of fire. The hive mind is shattered. The pieces are scattered. The great beast has been broken. The rage is almost spent. The fire is about to die out. This is no longer a battle. This is the grim, methodical work of a survivor cleaning up the mess. The great hunt is over. Now begins the tedious task of dispatching the lingering ghosts. The machine is screaming from every system. It is broken, empty, but the pilot's will remains. But even in its death throes, the monster has one last drop of venom. A pure instinctual reaction. The honed reflexes of a warrior faster than any thought. A final, definitive judgment. An exclamation point at the end of a long and bloody sentence. He flies through the graveyard of his own making, a solemn king surveying his grim victory. Ghosts without souls made of broken circuits, a reminder of how real the threat was. But in every legend, one demon always manages to escape. The story is not over. The final brushstroke, a beautiful, terrible, and final act to ensure the work is done. After the rage, after the fire, there is a profound quiet. The quiet of an exhausted victor. And the horrifying realization that the last demon is about to win the war. The final hunt begins, no longer for victory, but for the very survival of the mission. The hunted can feel the hot breath of the iron god on its neck. There is no escape. The last demon proves to be the most clever, using the earth itself as a shield. One last arrow in the quiver, one final chance to avert total disaster. The doomsday clock begins its final, terrifying countdown. An act of impossible genius, a maneuver of pure desperation that defies the laws of combat. The last breath of the fire dragon, a single, final, definitive statement.
Precise.
Perfect, absolute, undeniable. The will of man delivered in a single burst. This is the moment a single human action holds back an apocalypse. The gatekeeper has held the gate. The kingdom is safe. The battle is over. The weary, wounded hero begins the long journey home. A new day begins, a peace purchased with impossible courage and sacrifice. The return to Earth, the return to mortality, the journey's end. But this was just one storm against one gatekeeper, and out there, in the dark, the war has just begun.